scrappy people, and welcome to the Oh What Fun YouTube hop with the Traci Reed Designs team. Today I'm going to be using the Oh What Fun collection and this fun wreath cut file also included in the collection that will make a giant 12 by 12 wreath on this 12 by 12 layout. Now you can see I am using the off cut of the wreath to sort of guide where my glue lines are going to go for the fronds. Now I'm only going to do that for the the leaves of the wreath so that I can make sure that I get a nice perfect circle. Ignore the Christmas trees cut out. I use the same paper for my other cut files too. Waste not, want not, but the Christmas tree has nothing to do with this layout, so I don't want you to be confused. So I use the second 12 by 12 paper to create glue lines again, and I am just making sure that I tuck the ends of the leaves that are not going to have berries on them into the leaves underneath them, or like the leaves at the end. That way there's no stems sticking out of my wreath. So I'm almost done here, and I've got a nearly perfect circle, or perfect enough for a wreath. And I'm going to then start adding in my berries. Now I cut my berries out of both red cardstock and a really nice bright glittery cardstock, like a scrap that I had left over. And I also cut out the flowers for this wreath as well out of those two different cardstocks. That way I could have a little bit of variety and some bling in this layout, because this is such a large and I wouldn't say heavy, but it makes quite an impact, this cut file, that I don't want to add too much to this layout in addition to my, photos. So I want to make sure that this cut file, since it is the centerpiece of the page, I want to make sure that it has some fun aspects to it. And I thought that that glitter cardstock would really help in that aspect. So I have every other leaf is getting glitter versus the cranberry color cardstock that matches the Oh What Fun collection. And I'm just going through and putting everything down. I tried not to add too much glue to the actual leaves when I went through, just kind of through the center. That way I could pick up the leaves and tuck things underneath them as I go along when I start adding my photos and things to this layout. So you can see this is not a hard process, but it is a little bit tedious recreating this wreath from the cut file, but it's so worth it. This layout comes out so cute and fun, and I really love the process of basically having a layout done for you already. Well, of course I designed this cut file, but when you go to make the layout, it's basically just done for you, and you just have to add your photos to it and maybe a title and some embellishments. And I think that that's a really fun way to get creative and have some fun with paper without having to think too much. And I am all for not having to think too much lately, because man, my brain with this holiday season is just fried. So it's a good way to just get creative and have some fun and not stress too much about it. But of course my silhouette did not completely cut out this flower. It got like all crinkled up in the silhouette. So I am using my scissors and going along the guidelines that the silhouette did create and finishing up that cut. So you can see I kind of flipped up the petals of each of the glitter flowers before I laid everything down. That way there would be some depth and texture to the flowers themselves, but also so that when the glue dries, it doesn't stick the petals to the bottom flower. That way it has a little bit of room and a little bit of give in case I want to tuck things in. Just always making sure I'm thinking ahead and not hampering my future creative endeavors. So the flowers go on all basically four corners, quote unquote corners, of the wreath, and then they each have a leaf sticking out. All of the leaves go inside except for this bottom set of leaves that go on the outside of the wreath. That way it kind of anchors the whole composition to the page and just grounds it. If I had done outside on all of the leaves, I would have had to make it smaller for one thing, but also it just would look kind of weird if all of the leaves were pointing off the page, but the bottom ones look right. Almost like a bow hanging, right? Okay, so I've got everything down-ish. One more white flower. Perfect. All right, so now I am ready to start actually adding my papers, or not papers, but photos and a few embellishments to this page. Look how cute that is. Love it. So I have some older photos of my husband and I on a Christmas photo shoot in 2019, goodness gracious, that I don't think I ever scrapbooked. I might have thrown them in a December daily, but I've never scrapbooked them for real before. So I thought that this would be a perfect cut file for that. I'm going to use this offcut of this green, which is not loving my tape runner. And I'm going to back the whole page in this green to sort of anchor it. And I always feel like white backed layouts are sort of floating in space. So I wanted to make sure that I just sort of anchored it all the way around, trimming it, making sure it's 12 by 12 because I don't think I cut it correctly when I cut the branding strip off. All right, perfect. Just making sure that it was going to be nice and centered. Now I have two photos. They're both 3 by 4s, and I'm going to back this one with some of the teal from the collection because the wreath is only red and green, and I know I'm going to bring in some teal embellishments and some brown too. So I want to add the teal and the brown just as little pops of color behind these photos so that it doesn't look weird when I add in embellishments that have those colors. Nice. Okay. And then I'm going to add just a few stickers from the collection. So I have these Christmas lights, and then I want to add in a couple of snowmen too, just for fun. I thought that it was cute. I'm tucking the snowmen, and I'm tucking everything underneath the flowers and in between things so that it looks nice and nestled in the composition and not like on top of the wreath. I'm going to add this So Merry word strip from the Journalers. And then this little heart candy cane is also from the Journalers. There's a set of stickers, which are all icons, and a set of journalers for this collection in addition to everything else. Now, this love title is actually with one of the alphabets from the holiday alphas. This one looks like it's like Santa's hat. Oh, I love the texture on this so much. I had to use it on this layout. And then this holiday is actually a word from the digital kit. It looks like it's glitter. It says holidays in the digital kit, but I just erased the S before I printed it out so that it said holiday. So all together it says holiday love. And then the last thing I'm going to add in from the collection are these little snowflakes too that are from the sticker sheet. I'm just going to kind of scatter them all over the page. I don't feel like this page needs a whole lot beyond the wreath. I just wanted to make sure that there was a few things that were giving some visual interest besides the leaves and all of that from the wreath. So then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually grab out the gold enamel dots that I used for the center of the flowers, and I'm going to scatter them around just the wreath a little bit, just for some bling, a little bit more berries. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci Reed, and in the description box below is the rest of the YouTube hop, including a link to the Oh What Fun collection, which is 50% off for Black Friday. All right, thank you.